The culture in the high schools of our generation is not focused enough on the pursuit of happiness. So let me tell you about a crisp 40-degree Saturday night in September when me and my friend threw together a plan at the last minute to go camping. It was already past 8:30 when we linked up, so we were just settling down at our campsite in the dark, and I was checking my phone to see if anyone else was going to pull up when my friend put a speaker to my ear, cranked the thing up to full volume, and blasted some Zac Brown band straight into my soul. We ate hot dogs, roasted marshmallows, and took in the late night city lights of Denver, Colorado. And it was early the next morning when we both woke up, sore from sleeping in the car, that he said something that really just flipped the way I see the world. He said, "It's just like when you realize you'll never be fucking 8 years old again, man. It fucking hurts." It's kind of funny, because the depth of my friend's words didn't hit me until a few days later, and it was then that I started to cry. But it wasn't tears of sadness. Now, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out why what my friend said was so impactful and emotional for me, and I came to a good conclusion. I am proud. I'm so freaking proud of who I am and what I do and what I've done since my life that I was overcome. But also, I realized that I was terrified. Terrified of turning 17, terrified that I could never go back to elementary school, terrified of what comes next. Being 8 years old, especially in retrospect, is just pure bliss. You have very little responsibility, you have good friends, and you can daydream all day long. So when the stubborn little part of me that believed that one day life might return to that level of simplicity was directly told that it will never happen, I was crushed. And I cried tears of nostalgia and fear. Tears of pent-up emotion. And simultaneously, I was crying tears of joy. That was the overwhelming emotion. Joy. And recently, I promised myself that when I look back on my life in my deathbed, I want to be overcome with that same feeling of pride and joy in my accomplishments, in my relationships, and in my experiences. And while thinking about all this, I saw my life as an art project. Think of a painting. There are going to be countless flaws, tiny imperfections and whoopsies that mainly only the artist notices, but also beautiful strokes and amazing contrast. A good painting is going to have a balance to it, equal parts of light and dark, good and bad, work and life, school and other stuff. However, the most important part with any painting is that at the end of the whole process, the artist should feel pride. Pride because you can see the hard work, the fun, the tears, the sweat, and the grind throughout the entire piece. Now, you might be thinking, how do you make your own unique painting? How do you live a life that you will be proud of? Well, my friend, no one really has a straightforward answer to that. But that camping trip last fall taught me two things that might help you understand. The first was about pride, which I already talked about. But the second was more of a realization, and it ties back to the search for happiness. Now, me and my friend, we talked a lot that day, and there was one other thing that he said that really struck a chord. He said, sometimes, a lot of the time actually, you just kind of feel happy on the outside, you know? It's like the default. But sometimes, dude, you get happy on the fucking inside, and that shit is real. That's a fucking amazing feeling. This made me realize the true state of our generation, how unhappy a lot of us truly are, how dull and unbalanced some of our paintings look. And in that moment, when he said that, I decided to make my own painting stand out, to really embrace that happiness on the inside and live my life chasing it. So I hope you leave this video trying to do the same thing. And to help, I made another video addressing a little more tangible way to lead unforgettable teenage years. So watch that next. As always, cheers.